this area and get the sewer line taken care of, with that. So, our budget's being stretched by adding our existing, street dollars toward those matching funds with CISD to really get that other project, and we want to get that moving forward. So what we'll do is next time we're able for these funds, we'll fall back to a street project.
In 2 years from now.
Yes, sir.
Well, what happened, I thought when we did the sewer project, that covered most of the city. When we got the grant.
So you have a 10-year plan, and when you have a 10-year SSO plan with DCEQ, and getting the loan only took care of the first 7 years. There's still 3 years worth of work in there.
Another thing too is on Black Oak, before we could ever overlay that end of that street, we have to have that sewer line fixed, correct?
Correct.
That was staff's recommendation this year. Of course, you can do an alternate plan if you so choose.
Yes, they're.
Makes sense. So I think we'll, while those at present are working on the, filling out the forms, we'll open the public hearing at 7:41. Is there anybody present or online that had anything to say in this public hearing? Okay, we will close the public hearing. We'll pause just for a minute so everybody can keep working on their, priority list. And actually, if staff has, since we're still under that item, if staff wants to add anything else to that, welcome to.
No, it's just a great program, and I just want to emphasize some of the previous work you've done in the last month is allowing us to do a huge impact this year on the streets. We'll be replacing at least 6 streets there. Currently, with the water, we'll be moving into phase 3. And then with the sewer, we have some final dollars in sewer, so we'll also be handling some projects that will allow us to do more street work in the future.
We'll have to get on the street now.
That's right. And I believe I'm working on another project that Mr. Berry wants for a workshop, and I'll be presenting that at a workshop that is street related.
That's what, street related?
Yes, sir. We'll be bringing some costs of some thoroughfares in front of you for a workshop for look at.
And the grants that go with them?
Yes, sir, only it's not a grant.
I don't like that thing. The potholes y'all filled lately, is that done with that truck y'all had that had the, I don't want to call it a hopper, I don't know what you call it.
That's about its offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to change up the back end, swivel mechanism. We didn't like the way it was operating, so now we got a new one and we're moving with it. Except for like yesterday when it's, or the day before when it's raining, misty, we'll run down there with a bag of pothole patch in a big area like, on Robert's Cutoff down there during the nursery. Matter of fact, we got a hole fixed tomorrow.
2 of them were on Baylor, but I'd seen y'all fixed it, and it was fresh hot top. I thought, oh, we really use their truck.
Yeah.
And then hopper.
Yeah, it's been used, I think, 6 days in all, at least 4 days in the last 2 weeks.
Is the street sweeper on that, or you contracting that out?
The street sweeper? No, it's, we have a gentleman that's, there, and if it's not running, the only reason is it's off, or he's driving the patch truck. Sometimes when we're a little bit low on staffing, we have 2 positions open, so they'll pull him the day to drive the patch truck.
But the sweeper, my question was, is the sweeper owned by City of River Oaks?
City of River Oaks, yes, sir.
It had another name on the door.
Another name on the door.
It had another name on the door today.
In your area?
Never mind. Meandering road.
It should have been.
Maybe I misunderstood something.
No, it's,
I recognize the driver. That matter, I just didn't know about the truck. Somebody else, Mark in my office said that it was, he said a name outside a contractor or something like that.
so
But
I
it's got
have,
a logo on it like the other.
yes,
Okay.
both, the logo on both doors.
I guess if somebody else was driving one and cleaning their streets, I wouldn't
I
complain
was gonna
anyway.
say, yeah, we got free extra sweet, so, yeah. But,
Yes, sir.
I know that, Mark's come up to my house.
There you go.
I'm sure he misread it.
Okay.
Well, street improvements are
You got
number one.
one, at least one hanging out
Okay.
Could be a sign.
Here's mine.
What is this?
Mine.
Well, Chris.
Marvin is finishing up the tower.
They put that on there, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it still appears streets are number one, sewer's number two, and water's number three.
Okay.
The project you have before you is a sewer.
If you would like, sir, I can discuss the project that I had picked out, it ended up being $303,000. There is a, one block section of Almena that is from Long to Bird Street, and the curbs and gutters are completely failed, and the sewer is needing to be replaced. And for us to replace the curbs and gutters and approaches, just like we did down Bird the previous year, and replace the sewer, it tallied up to be $303,000, and that has, well, yes, it'll be about $303,000 because the final tally is $333,000, but that's 10% of a contingency that we won't use in that. And so that's, I brought that to Mr. Gregory. We discussed it very much, and trying, since we're doing all that other street work, we try to keep it within budget.
I think that's a good
So
job.
that part of Almena wasn't previously done, did it start at Bird and go to the north previously?
Yeah, it stopped right there at, Bird. The one, you're talking about the one about 10 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah, that stopped right there.
So if you're doing asphalt roads, that's gonna go a lot more roads than doing that one section of curbs and approaches, right?
No, due to the fact that, half of that is, sewer. So 160,000 is, you know, I mean, I can get more work done. For instance, if I remember correctly, just off the top of my head, if we were to go down Roberts Cutoff and just mill the top and put a new asphalt top on that, that was running 140 to 180,000, I believe, to do that section.
That's if Tarrant County does it?
Yes, sir.
That's our cost for material.
That's what Tarrant County does.
So,
$40,000 just to mill it, is what it was.
so why are we coming in and paying for approaches? We don't pay for approaches when we force somebody to add a driveway to their house.
Correct, and we don't originally, in the approaches, when a new development comes, the approaches are put in by the developers, the curb and gutter. The approach is part of the drainage system, and so if the curb and gutter completely fail, we have to, if we're going in there and putting a new curb and gutter, we've got to meet the new elevations that's set by the surveyor, and so 9 times out of 10, the approach is going to be off. Now, what we do, just like we did on Bird, the resident, most of these driveways are singles, and so the residents are asking us to double them, make them doubles, and we make them